What an honor and a privilege it is to be in this space with you all. This is such a special place. And I'm really privileged to be able to be back again on the back end of those 3 years of seminary. And those of you who were here 3 years ago, you can tell me afterwards whether I learned anything. I also want to say, since Reverend Ann did announce my ordination on July 5th in New York City, that you are all invited, because I did not take this journey alone. I did not make this milestone on my own, and it is a commissioning of all the people of God. And if you want details, I got these little flyers with me. Just see me during coffee hour. Pray with me. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of our hearts be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer. Amen. In the course of the last week, as I sat down to write this sermon, notifications on my phone kept interrupting me with one piece of bad news after another. On Monday, Health Secretary RFK Jr. fired the entire CDC vaccine advisory panel. On Tuesday, the House Judiciary Committee voted to make it a federal crime to provide gender-affirming health care to minors, targeting doctors and parents with prison time if they provide medically necessary care to children. On Wednesday, Israeli military killed another 57 people in Gaza as they tried to access desperately needed food in designated distribution areas. On Thursday, federal agents forcibly removed and then tackled and detained a United States senator for asking the DHS secretary a question at a press conference. On Friday, the director of the National Portrait Gallery stepped down, the latest casualty of the white supremacist attacks on diversity, equity, and inclusion. And on Saturday morning, a gunman with a list of 70 targets assassinated Minnesota State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband, and then gravely wounded Senator John Hoffman and his wife. And every day, ICE abducts more than 1,000 people from their homes, their workplaces, schools, courthouses, and neighborhood streets. These are just a few headlines from a single week. The daily violence and cruelty unleashed by our government is staggering, and it is hard not to feel hopeless. It is hard not to feel like we are standing in a valley of dry bones, just like Ezekiel in this morning's Hebrew scripture. The Ezekiel story takes place during the time of the Babylonian exile, when ancient Judea had been conquered and occupied. The Babylonian Empire had come in and sacked Jerusalem and destroyed the temple. They also deported thousands of people, forcing them into exile. That part in particular feels terribly familiar right now. But out of all the bad news, all the violence, all the attacks on vulnerable populations, the destruction of government services and agencies, one item stood out to me, and I couldn't shake it. At the beginning of Pride Month, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth ordered the Navy to strip the name of legendary LGBTQIA+ activist Harvey Milk from a ship honoring him. Milk was one of the earliest openly gay politicians in the U.S. He was assassinated in 1978, a year after winning a seat on the San Francisco Board of Supervisors. Hegseth is reportedly planning to expand the purge of civil rights icons from named Navy vessels to include Sojourner Truth, Medgar Evers, and Cesar Chavez. There are worse things happening right now, far more harmful things, but none more revealing of the white Christian nationalist project. Trump's coalition, like all ruling coalitions, draws on various constituencies, but the dominant one is white Christian nationalism, and it is the core of his base. Hegseth himself is an ardent Christian nationalist, and he has the words Deus vult tattooed on his arm. That's Latin for God wills it. Deus vult was the slogan of the medieval Crusades, a cause that Hegseth openly admires and has called for a modern incarnation of. More recently, Deus vult has been the slogan embraced by right-wing terrorists. It was used by both the Quebec City mosque shooter and the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville. The perpetrator of the Texas mall shooting in 2023 had the same tattoo, along with several Nazi tattoos. But it's not like Hegseth is a Venezuelan immigrant, so I'm not sure that tattoo means nothing. The core of white Christian nationalism is domination and ruthless conformity. It seeks to silence and subjugate everyone who is not white, male, heterosexual, cisgender, and born in the US. Its leaders have declared that empathy is a sin. Empathy, a sin. A message that clears the way for human rights atrocities. To these Christians, civil rights heroes and martyrs, abolitionists who risked their lives to free others, union leaders, aren't Americans to be proud of, examples of courage and selflessness, leaders calling on our nation to live up to its professed ideals. No, these heroes are a threat to the culture of obedience and conformity that they seek to impose on all of us. And this is also the reason why they hate LGBTQI people so much, and especially transgender people. And yes, hate is the right verb in this sentence. They are enraged that we dare to be the authorities of our own lives. Needless to say, this brand of Christianity bears no relationship to the ministry of Jesus. Their white Jesus has nothing in common with the Jesus who lived in occupied Palestine, the Jesus who spent his childhood as a refugee in Egypt, the Jesus who was denied citizenship in the land in which he was born, lived, and died, the Jesus who denounced religious elites, the Jesus who was executed by empire. That Jesus, our Jesus, welcomed all those ground under the heel of empire, all those marked for exclusion, exploitation, subjugation by the likes of Herod and Pilate, by Hegseth, Trump, Stephen Miller, and Steve Bannon. The people gathered around Jesus were the poor, the marginalized, the vulnerable, people in need of health care and healing, traumatized by systems of oppression, people defined as outcast and other. They were trans and queer. They were undocumented, Black, Indigenous, disabled, criminalized. They were Sojourner Truth. They were Medgar Evers. They were Cesar Chavez. They were Harvey Milk. And Jesus gathers all those around and says to them, to you, to us, you are the salt of the earth. You are the light of the world. Not the kings and priests, not the cabinet secretaries, the preachers, not the soldiers and ICE officers, not the university presidents, the law firm partners, the senators and the congresspeople. No, you are the salt of the earth. Salt of the earth. Now, queer folks and trans folks, we certainly know how to be salty. We can be very spicy. And Lord knows we can bring flavor to some otherwise very bland settings. You know the chant, we're here, we're queer, we're fabulous, get used to it. There's a variation on that one that I particularly love. We're here, we're queer, we designed everything you're wearing. But while it's true that queer folks and trans folks have rich and colorful cultural traditions, and that we have made countless contributions to every sector of the arts, it's a bit of a stereotype to think of us as just artsy and flamboyant. Some of us can't sing or dance at all and only wear black jeans and black t-shirts, well, except when we're preaching. But we are just as queer, just as fabulous, just as much salt of the earth. Salt, in fact, does much more than flavor food. For starters, it's necessary for life. As human beings, we literally need salt to survive. If the salt level in your blood is low, you can be very sick. Trust me on this, I've been to the ER with hyponatremia. That's the fancy term for dangerously low salt levels. If salt levels fall too low, you die. Salt is essential. And we, ordinary working folks, the poor, the marginalized, the queer, the trans, the ostracized, the salt of the earth, we are as essential as salt. The world does not exist without us, and it has never existed without us, no matter what lies some people will tell you about how transgender people didn't used to exist. They have always existed. The point is that queer and trans people are an inherent part of God's wonderfully diverse creation. Always have been, always will be. But there's more. It turns out that because salt is so important to human existence, it has shaped the development of civilizations and the course of history over and over. The Romans built their cities around natural salt sources. And when they began conquering the world, taking over existing salt works was central to their imperial strategy. The Chinese invented percussion drilling in their quest for salt sources, and their invention of gunpowder depended on salt. The Egyptians used it to make their mummies and preserve their food. Indeed, one of salt's most consequential roles the world over was as a preservative in the millennia before refrigeration. Salted food, in turn, was the engine of many economies and shaped the world's trade routes. So I want to remind the queer and the trans folks here that, like salt itself, we have shaped civilizations throughout history. The world exists the way it does in part because we are in it and have always been a part of it. Queer and trans people are a part of creation. We are a part of history. We belong. Now, because salt was so essential to both life and food, it was historically also a significant source of tax revenue. The Chinese began taxing salt sometime before 2000 BCE. That's the first written record of a salt tax. And then they went on to develop a salt monopoly under the Qin dynasty in the 2nd century BCE in order to keep the prices, and therefore the state revenues, high. Rome manipulated its salt prices as needed to fund its wars or appease its subjects. The French salt tax was so hated that it became a symbol of all the injustices of the monarchy and contributed to the French Revolution. In India, meanwhile, the British banned the production of salt in order to force Indians to buy imported British salt. This devastated large sections of the economy, led to famine, and made defiance of the salt law part of Indian resistance to empire for over a century. In 1930, Gandhi famously set out with 78 of his followers to march to the Sea of Dandi in order to openly defy the salt law. 25 days and 240 miles later, he arrived at the sea not with 78 people, but with thousands who had joined the march along the way. He picked up a piece of salt crust evaporated by the sun, and in so doing, he broke the law. The following day, on the other side of India, the people of Orissa engaged in public salt making. People everywhere started making salt and then selling salt, and soon the jails were filled. As many as 100,000 people were imprisoned, but to no avail. The revolt against empire proved unstoppable, and the rest, as they say, is history. We stand here in another century, in the clutches of another empire, devastated at the carnage around us, the slain of Gaza, the deported neighbors, the endless assaults on our trans siblings, the bleak prospect for change amidst what surely feels like nothing but dry bones. But when God asks us, "Mortal, can these bones live?" we must find a way, like Ezekiel, to answer, "O Lord God, you know." When Gandhi decided to focus the independence movement on salt, many of his comrades were baffled by this choice. But Gandhi knew that the power of nonviolent resistance depended on the mass participation of the people, and the salt law was something that affected ordinary working and poor Indians because salt is so essential. And ordinary people, ground under the heel of empire, the people Jesus tells us are the salt of the earth. Ordinary people rose up and made the impossible possible. They sent the British Empire packing. "Mortal, can these bones live?" Oh, yes, they can. They can live because when God says prophesy to these bones, Ezekiel prophesies. And when God calls us and says breathe upon these slain that they may live, we can in fact breathe new life into the world. The downtrodden and the marginalized, the ordinary, poor and working people, black and brown, undocumented, disabled, and yes, queer and trans, our very ordinariness is what makes us the salt of the earth, what makes us essential, and what makes us powerful enough to topple empires. This is how God changes the world. And everywhere you look, amidst the violence of empire, there are people answering God's call. In Los Angeles, thousands have risen up and put their bodies in between ICE's deportation machine and their neighbors. In New York City, too, hundreds of people have been downtown every day where ICE is detaining people in the courts. Protests have now spread to dozens of cities, and the city of Glendale, California, just announced that it is ending coordination with ICE. Indeed, there are demonstrations happening every single day across the country, demanding an end to the genocide in Gaza, protesting funding cuts, protesting fossil fuel industries, anti-trans legislation, book bannings, First Amendment violations, and so much more. Civil rights lawyers are in court every single day, and mutual aid networks are living the slogan, "Who takes care of us? We take care of us." Breathe upon these slain that they may live. LGBTQIA+ people are in the forefront of all of these movements because we understand what Audre Lorde told us long ago. There is no such thing as a single-issue struggle because we do not live single-issue lives. I want to give a particular shout out of recognition to trans folks, most of all Black trans folks, who in the face of existential threats from both legislators and vigilantes have dared to insist on their existence, on their resistance, on their beautiful salt of the earth presence that enriches all of us. And they are at every March for Palestine and every Ice Watch protest. And yesterday, hundreds of thousands of people in thousands of cities and towns across the U.S. took to the streets for the No King's Day demonstrations. God says, breathe upon these slain that they may live. And Jesus tells us, don't lose your saltiness. Don't hide your light. Use your light to shine the way to a better future. Empires don't fall overnight, but they do fall. O Lord God, you know. Amen.